In this video I want to show you the second of three ways of writing the equation of a line or a linear equation. We've already talked about standard form. The second way, maybe the most popular way, is writing it in what's called slope-intercept form. And slope-intercept form, you can see it right here. This is how you write something in slope-intercept form. This right here, the M, we said in the last video, that stands for the slope. And B stands for the y-intercept, and we talked about that in an earlier video. So here's an example of that. Let's say you have this coordinate axis right here. Here's your x and here's your y, and you have this line right here. Okay, this blue point that I just highlighted right there, that is B. That's the y-intercept. Okay, and I'm not 100% sure why they call it B, but I know they don't call it y because y is already being used to indicate the y variable on the line. And then the slope means this. The slope means the vertical rise over the horizontal run. So whatever that number turns out to be. Alright, so it's useful in math to know how to solve the same problem many different ways, or to have the same concept in a number of different areas. So I'm going to show you 4 different ways that we can write the equation of a line in slope-intercept form from 4 different starting points. Our first starting point will be number 1, where they give us a graph. And remember, we're trying to write it in this form, y equals mx plus b. And here's the really important thing to note. When we write our final answer, this m and this b should have numbers filled in, but x and y should still be there. So our final answer should still have an x and a y in it. It should not have an m and a b. We should have found what m and b equal. So let's do that right now. So first of all, that's the y-intercept. So ask yourself, what number is that right there? Well, it's in between 2 and 4. So that means it has to be 3. So at least we found our y-intercept is 3. Now we need to find the slope. So the easiest way to do this is pick 2 points on the graph. So I'll pick that purple one and this red one, and then we'll see what distance we traveled. So it looks like we went up 1 and we went over 1, 2, 3, 4. So up 1 over 4, that means a vertical change of 1. It's change in y, so y change of 1 over change in x, an x change of 4. So 1/4 x plus 3, that right there is the equation of this line. And if you want to test it, you can plug in any point on that line to that equation, see if it works. So here's the point right here, 4 comma 4. So plug in 4 for x right there. 1/4 of 4 is 1, and 1 plus the 3, that would indeed equal 4 for y. So that's a good way to check it. Alright, number 2, we have to write this in slope-intercept form. This is a lot easier than number 1. All we have to do is fill things in. So the intercept they're telling us is 2, so I'm going to put a 2 right there. And the slope they're telling us is 1/3, so I'm going to put a 1/3 right there, and we're done. That's the line in slope-intercept form that has a, actually that should be a negative 1/3. That's the line that has a slope of negative 1/3 and a y-intercept of 2, and that's all you have to do. Okay, numbers 3 and 4. So this one's a little bit more involved. We have our slope-intercept form, and we always start by plugging in what we know. So we know the slope is negative 4/3, so I'm going to plug in negative 4/3 where m used to be. Okay, now how do we find what b is? Well, we find it by using this other piece of information they give us. This is our x value right here. Okay, and this is our y value. And that's just a single point on that line, but that's okay. We can use that to our advantage. So I'm going to fill that in right here. So our x, they're telling us that an x value on this line is negative 3. So that's why I'm plugging in negative 3 there. They're telling us that a y value on that line is negative 1. So because that point is on the line, when we solve this, it should give us something true. So let's simplify. So 3 goes into itself once, and it goes into that once. So we have 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. And then we just have to solve this for b. So we'll add 4 to both sides, and we'll get this. We'll get b is equal to, those go away, negative 1 plus 4 equals positive 3. So our final answer here, the equation for this line, is going to be negative 4/3 x. We'll just go back up here and put that in, plus 3. There's our equation right there. Alright, number 4, see if you can pause and try this. Again, we want to write this in slope-intercept form. Now here's the problem. We don't have either the slope or the intercept, so I'll give you a hint if you want to try this on your own. We have 2 points here. We'll call this one x1, y1. We'll call this one x2, y2. We have 2 points. Think to yourself how you can find the slope, because we did it before. How can you find the slope of a line if you know 2 points on that line? So see if you can pause it and try that right now. And the answer to that question is we can find the slope by using the slope formula, which is this: m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is this and y1 is this, so negative 4 minus negative 5, that's like negative 4 plus 5, which is 1. And then x2 is this, negative 5, minus x1 is 2. So negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. So our slope is negative 1/7. And by the way, the negative, it doesn't matter if you put it on the bottom, on the top, or like I did out in front. But it's probably more common to put it out in front, so that's why I put it there. So negative 1/7 x plus b. And now this problem is exactly like the other one. Now we have the slope. How did we find b on the other problem? We took a point and we plugged it in. So now you have a choice about which point you want to plug in. It doesn't matter which one. I'll just pick this one right here. So I'm going to plug in negative 5 for y equals, and I'm going to plug in that other point 2 for x. And by the way, I didn't have a choice about that. If I took negative 5, I have to take 2. I can't suddenly move over here and start using one of those, because that's a different point. When y equals negative 5, x is only equal to 2. X does not equal negative 5 when y is negative 5, so you can't use that. Okay, now let's simplify this. So 2 times negative, that's still negative 5, that's right here. 2 times negative 1/7 is negative 2/7. How do we solve this? We would solve it by adding 2/7 to this side to cancel, adding 2/7 to this side. So we're going to have negative 5, which as a fraction is like negative 5 over 1, plus 2/7. We need a common denominator, so the common denominator would be 7. So I'm going to multiply both of these by 7. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35, and 7 times 1 is 7. So now we have this. Now we have negative 35 over 7 plus 2 over 7, and that's negative 33 over 7. And you can just leave it like that. So our final answer to this question, what is that? What is the slope-intercept form of that equation? Take that b and put it right here. So negative 33 over 7. Of course, you could write that as just minus 33 over 7 if you want to. So that's how we write equations in slope-intercept form. In the next video, we're going to learn how to actually put them on a graph, how to graph them as well. So stay tuned for that.